Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Today is another review. This time I'm going over the recent release from Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, The Art of the Movie. No doubt it will be referred to as The Art of Quantumania, maybe The Art of Ant-Man 3, because this book title is more than a little wordy. So, after multiple delays, the book is finally out. Delays aren't unusual for Marvel. Their lack of care to not only hit release dates but promote these books is almost impressive. The series of Marvel art books are typically released in the same order as the movies and shows, but for whatever reason, this one, along with the She-Hulk art book, have had heavier delays. This one should have been out before the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 art book, and it's now also been well over a year since the movie released, so any interest in a book like this may have already come and gone. But I am not one of these people. I'm a collector, I'm a fan of the MCU, so let's jump into the book. The first thing I always look at with a new book is the build quality, and this book passes the test. If you own any of the books post Endgame, you know what to expect. They all have matching dimensions, reliable binding, and come with hardcovers. The only issue for me is the page count being capped at 224 pages. I'll get into why in a moment. So, as stated in my last review, I don't review the art. I'm in no position to do so after all. I will say that I'm personally a fan of many of the artists over at Marvel, Andy Park being a favourite of mine after discovering his work on the early God of War games. But this book does include a wider variety of styles that I'm typically used to seeing in a Marvel Studios art book, and that's really nice to see. With that, let's jump into the content, and it's a mixed bag for me. In terms of what type of art you're getting, Marvel is great at including earlier concepts, unused ideas, costume variations, key art and more. No storyboards this time around though, but that's not too much of an issue when they tick so many of the other boxes and don't just include the final art. There is a lot of very cool abstract and wild art for the Quantum Realm in a range of styles. I really like this and was hoping to see it, as it was one of the coolest aspects of the movie. You also get a lot of weird and wonderful art for the inhabitants across a good amount of pages. This is a highlight for me, seeing the artists have the freedom to explore and come up with some interesting species and creatures. As mentioned before, there is a bunch of unused ideas here too, and I always like seeing them included. From Ant-Man fighting a giant creature to Hank Pym having a tiny underground lab. Another thing I liked is seeing some of the concepts for MODOK. There are mixed opinions about how he looked on screen, but I enjoyed these pages too. On to the negative though, the heroes. While of course featured elsewhere in the book, for dedicated character art, Ant-Man gets only 6 pages, the Wasp and Cassie get 4, and Hank and Janet only get 2. This is disappointing to say the least. I understand that Ant-Man and the Wasp are established already, but there's definitely more art somewhere for their new designs. The other 3 are getting brand new costumes. Cassie, her first suit, and Hank and Janet are getting their Quantum Realm clothing. So to have only this is a shame, made worse by the fact most of the art is them in the same pose with only small changes. Maybe this is how most of the art was done, but based on previous books I find this unlikely. But this brings me back to the page count. Before Endgame, when the art books were in a different format, they had a range of page counts, some up to 350 pages. The decision to cap the count at 224 is a problem for me. There could have been more hero art as well as arts for the environments and inhabitants if they didn't have this limit. This book has been negatively affected by it because there has to be a trade-off. Movies and shows with a larger cast suffer even more. The upcoming art book for Deadpool and Wolverine will be a test of this too, with all of the characters and variants involved. I hope Marvel does something about this in the future. Another negative is the print. Some of the recent books have been printing dark images, with Guardians of the Galaxy being really bad for this. This book has a similar issue. Most are fine, but there are some that are dark, not helped by the fact that they are printing dark costumes on dark backgrounds. You could argue the artist intended the image to be this way, but having spoken to someone that has done art for the MCU, they also mentioned the prints being way too dark. It's not enough to spoil the book, but it's worth highlighting. Onto something I was very curious about, Kang. I was wondering if the larger delays were in part due to the character, or more so the actor, Jonathan Majors, being removed from the MCU, as the Loki Season 2 book was also delayed and pushed back to December 31st. Early on in the book, he is conspicuously absent, seen only in a handful of images, but obscured, either from a distance or from behind, but later his own chapter appeared. Kang does get more pages than the heroes, Though some of the dark prints do come into play here, but I'm happy he's included. It's hard to ignore him after all. Unsurprisingly, and unlike many of the other members of the cast, Majors is not mentioned by name at all, though his likeness is featured. There are also some nice pages exploring the use of his powers, but no key art for the final fights with Scott, which I would have liked to see. The text and comments are insights from the artists and the team that worked on the movie, providing information on why they went a specific direction, the inspirations and processes. It strikes a nice balance for my tastes. It's enough to be interesting and not just give generic descriptions, but it's also not too much either. Artist credits are hit and miss in most books, but Marvel have always been one of the best to do it. Not only are they featured on each page, but at the back of the book, their names are listed with each page they are featured on. There are other books that do this too, but Marvel Studios have been very consistent, and I think this should be the standard. The use of space, as with previous books, is done well. The pages are filled, leaving no empty spaces. The layouts are varied and easy to read, with nice double page spreads here and there too. With the limited page count and no doubt thousands of images made for the movie, it would be very odd if this was not the case. Looking at the price now, I got a very good deal, just over £30. It's actually now listed on Amazon for this price too, which, given the economy and inflation since the pre-Endgame book prices, isn't bad at all. In the US, you can find it for around $50 on a site like Amazon, though there are likely cheaper options too. So now the final verdict. Is this book worth your time and money? It's a tough one. For me, at the price I paid and being an MCU fan, I'm happy with this book. I like the abstract art, alien creature designs, and find the quality of the artists at Marvel to be some of the best. It does have its downsides though, like the lack of art for the main cast and the page count, but I consider the fact they set such a high bar for movie art books that when one isn't quite as good, it's easy to write it off. This book still holds its own against other movie art books in my opinion. But could I recommend this book to others? I think I could for fans of the movie and collectors, though if you're new to the MCU art books or a more casual buyer, I think I'd recommend one of the other MCU books first, perhaps checking out online previews like my own. This book might speak to some people more, but I don't think I could pitch it without them seeing it first. I'm sure others will find value in the abstract art pieces as I did, but some may want a book that showcases the characters more and those elements less. Ultimately, whilst not the best MCU art book, I did really enjoy it and I'm glad I picked it up. I do think this book will suffer from a lack of promotion and coming out way too late. For a new book in cinema's largest franchise, the sales performance on Amazon confirms this. I hope Marvel takes more pride in these books. It seems Deadpool and Wolverine is getting special treatment though, with a faster release and the inclusion of a slipcase, albeit at a much higher price to capitalise on the popularity of the movie, while at the same time, others fall by the wayside, with endless delays due to a seemingly total lack of care. But despite how Marvel will treat these releases, I will keep buying them, I'll keep showcasing them here, so you can find new art, new artists, and then add them to your shelves if you like what you see. But now it's the end of the video. Did you like this book? Do you have any of the others? Are you going to pick up the new one for the Marvels? Let me know in the comments below. Also let me know what you thought of the video. Was it informative enough? Do you need more? Or did you just hate it? Let me know. Check out the full flip through on my channel if you want more from the book, and subscribe if you haven't. There's many more upcoming books, including old gems from my collection. There are 200 more still to come. Thanks guys and take care.